All right, we'll see. We'll see if we're live in some form or fashion here shortly. All right, and we are. So, also I got the headset on, mainly because so if you're just joining, later, or whatever, I'm focusing on F1 for like the first 10, 15-ish minutes, and then I'll talk about the Martinsville race, which is also probably going to be just a shit show in and of itself. And I'm currently waiting to get confirmation on the F1 race. From what I can tell right now, and we're just gonna do this shit live because this is a situation where I don't really trust SaberSim to actually do anything correctly or uh, the way I want it to. So I'm just gonna run my own shit here. If I'm not mistaken, this is the correct grid. We know Alex Albon will not compete in the race. Okay, Alex shouldn't compete. They should be able to fix Franco's car. Sainz is going to start from pit lane. Right now, it's going to come down to the wire if either of the Aston Martin guys roll. They're more concerned about Alonso's car than Stroll's car, and that's all. That news will probably come out closer to the start of the grid. But I don't know if you guys watched it or whatever. But we had 5 guys just completely wreck their shit in Q, and a lot of this stuff is looking crazy. So I actually haven't ran. Come on, keyboard, don't die on me now, dude. I haven't ran my stuff yet. Where am I sharing over here? Okay, cool. I'm sharing the red screen. Haven't ran my stuff yet. I never fucking bother with the constructors. I just want to see where these drivers are at here in terms of projections. And like I said, this is one where I'm running my shit. I'm not running I'm currently. This is my stuff. I'm gonna run what SaberSim has as well, just to make sure. Okay, because I want to see what they're pushing versus mine. Now, granted, the contest is small anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But I want to go ahead and look at this. And so while that runs, yet again, we'll talk about F1 for 10, 15 minutes here. If you do have any NASCAR questions, feel free to start dropping them in the chat, and I'll get to them. Just because I want to watch this F1 race. Sheets, Bobby, and Rody will be live at the top of we'll be live in an hour and 15 minutes to talk NFL. So this is kind of a tight window here. It really sucks. This whole F1 weekend got moved around. Let me look over here. So the constructor, just from the outside looking in, let's get rid of that. Oh yeah. I had this here. This is and I've changed some of it, but I need to see where things are at here. It's probably gonna be the McLarens as the constructor. So he's at 12,000. Now yet again, I'm doing this all in real time, really fast. I'm sorry, I'm coughing like a motherfucker, dude. Stayed up late last night. I was like, oh, I'll get up and watch this race. Didn't even get up in time to watch it, or the queue rather. Now I'm coughing like a freaking lemur out here. Okay, where are we at on SaberSim's stuff compared with my stuff? So we are looking at exposure. Where captain's at. So this is my this is where I'm very different, right? I'm giving Yuki and shit. This is how I know I don't want to run SaberSim stuff. Now, yet again, this could just be me being wrong right off the bat, but I know it's going to over project Yuki. I know it's going to over project Liam, most likely Akon. Now, I'm not saying they can't stay in the top 10, but I'm projecting all these guys to lose positions, as you can see. And so I got and typically I'm usually a lot better at zoning in the fact that we got 41 minutes, and the fact that this grid is so stupid. Track should be drier than it was in Q, but this is where I was like, I already knew going in before I even looked. SaberSim's gonna most likely overvalue what these guys could end up doing. I think they do end up falling through the field, especially when you look at how they, how these guys, the speeds they had in the sprint races. Like, okay, whatever, Yuki might not finish 11th, but some bitch is still going to move down to like 7th or 8th and stuff. So that's why I want to run my own stuff, because I can already see we're getting a lot of Yuki just from Sabersim. We're getting a ton of Esteban, which compared to my stuff, Ocon is, I have him at 3. Got Gasly at 2. Also, all these need plus 1 point for finishing because I don't calculate that, or fast laps or whatever. I'm just kind of gunning things really fast here. So this is let me just see what they're running here. What Sabersim's pushing. So Sabersim's going to probably be heavy on Yuki. So that's good. Or at least for me, because I know it's going to be different. Like, what are these outcomes, dude? Jesus Christ. I'm giving Yuki, like, I'm in this range here. I think they're over blowing the finishing position of Yuki here. So like I think that's incorrect. I think by this default, and yet again, I could just be a dumbass. I mean, how many F1 contests have I won this year? I think I've only won 2, and I don't think, clearly they haven't been solo. But I think that's incorrect. I think the ownership's incorrect. So this really isn't going to be that useful, but let's see, they're way lower on other people. Ton of Yuki just in raw projections in that. And so let's see what their own stuff shows here. Because mine would probably be Oscar if I'm going to punt. I still like. Let's see, what's the grid? What's the grid again? I was going to start 19th or 20th. If well, no, Albon's pulled down, so everybody jumps up a grid spot. So two safest guys seems to be Lando, or 3, Lando, Russell, Leclerc. The only way I would start running, yeah, you can't even run those 3 together. So Lando and Russell seem most likely and most compatible here. Might be removing Verstappen based on pricing. He might get outpaced by Russell. If I got him for 6, that might be too aggressive. Interesting. Okay, what are we doing over here? What are you showing me by your stuff? Just a shitload of Yuki, Russell, Lando. What is this Mercedes garbage? Interesting. Kind of a fan. Pit lane start, if I'm not mistaken. And if you guys get any info or stuff, like, yet again, I'm looking at this, so I'm not necessarily looking at Twitter. Let me go ahead and see if we got any quick updates on these fellows. Yeah, just right now it's Albon. He's out. Franco is looking to start at the grid spot that they have. So let's say we're some stuff. Let me look at, and then when I compare it to my stuff, right, like, it's going to be drastically different. This shit is going to be so wild. I know it's going to be McLaren. I'm not even going to worry about the other stuff there, but my stuff is drastically different builds. And you can see so I will probably that that line that I put in my favorites, I'll see where it compares in my stuff. But you could see my shit is so drastically different. So I'm not really concerned about not not really concerned about the contest. Because I'm gonna be drastically different anyway, so I'm finishing last if like Saber Sims and the industry's stuff is probably more accurate, and then if my stuff leans that way, it'll hopefully be a good race. But then again, the contest is so goddamn small, it's really not even worth throwing a lot of lineups in. I mean, it's 2,300 people, you know. So I'll throw probably like 3 lines and see what happens. I just had to get that out of the way really fast. Now moving on to Martinsville. Yet again, I'm gonna be here for probably another 15-ish minutes just because I want to get this F1 stuff squared away. Let me take this off really fast. Let me move this back here. Let me go back here. Wrong one. All right. So when we're looking at this grid here, okay, now we can't look at the practice data and stuff. Actually, let me check chat first. Hold on. All right, cool. No, nobody's in chat. All right, great. When we're looking here and I'm looking at this grid, I'm looking at what Larson has to do, what Denny has to do, what Reddick has to do, and stuff like that. Now, we have seen it be very difficult to pass here at Martinsville in the past. Now, you could look at that and you could be like, well, then, that kind of kills Reddick and Hamlin. Or you could look at it and be like, well, that's the old shit. People are going to be moving people out of the way, whatever. The fact that that two big favorites aren't even in the championship four right now is probably going to be huge. Larson, needing points, absolutely gonna race his heart out in all the stages, and I don't really see a need for a lot of yellows or a lot of I don't think we're gonna have a lot of yellows before stage ends or before the end of stages and stuff, and so I don't think that's really a concern about him staying out and getting completely fucked on strategy. Um, my main thing is that the racing here sucks, right? Like you really can't do anything. Like how viable is Hamlin and Reddick from an outside like looking at laps don't matter, right? They rebuilt the car, whatever. Hamlin had the fast laps, whatever. Like what does he actually do today in terms of his finishing stuff? Because he's most likely not going to get laps led, right? It's going to be very hard for him to do that. But we see, like I got Hamlin for like around 11th, right? I got Reddick for around 13th. Okay. Now around and at are two different things. I mean, this is going to be very much a what lap leaders end up doing. Okay, when you compare it to raw projections, Hamlin and Reddick are close. When you look at it, what the actual outcome of the top lap leaders can be, they're not even in the same ballpark. Regardless of Truex, Elliott, Byron, whoever leads, if we get two lap leaders, those guys are scoring like 130s, 140s, 150s, if not higher. If we spread it out, we're gonna have several guys probably in the 70s and 80s. Okay, this is similar to yesterday, a really, really brutal slate. I mean, both slates, the F1 and NASCAR, are pretty big shit shows. Um, so for that reason, first gut feels like, hey, just play light, don't play a lot anyway. Um, but secondly, when it's close like this, I think you then look at the salary and what people can do here. Now, Truex being 93, probably going to show up in a lot of things as being used, which let me go ahead and look at my stuff really fast here. We're probably going to see Truex probably in the 40s in ownership. I am hesitant on Truex. Now, I played him all this year. I thought he'd run better at intermediates. I thought he'd certainly be better at stuff in general, and he hasn't been. Whatever got the pole, he's in the auto owners paint scheme one last time. All the DFS DGens back in the day know that you just lock Truex in when he's in the auto owners car. I don't think Truex wins this race, and I'm very concerned on what his final laps led are. Due to that, I like Byron Elliott way more in this race to lead laps. So that'll probably be my main direction I go. I don't feel very confident in Truex today. I just don't gut feel. I just don't feel very confident in Truex. And again, that's the same feel that I manually changed the fucking projection on the site last weekend for Reddick uh, at Homestead. I had him projected as the winner and the highest projected guy earlier. Then I was like, well, kind of did underperform at Las Vegas. I dropped down like the second or third. So that's unfortunate because I didn't play Reddick last week when I played a shitload of him at Las Vegas. But I would lean Elliott and Byron. I think those guys are much better plays, and that's just from a gut feel. That's literally how I'm approaching this one with the drastic high variance outcomes that Hamlin and both Reddick provide in these situations here. Especially if people get spun late, if people get stupid, like this is just not a fun slate to play or even look at. I would prioritize Elliott and Byron probably over Larson just due to the pricing. I don't think Larson wins this race either. I think this will be a much more difficult race for Larson than we're anticipating. And I think these are the main guys who are going to compete to lead laps. I've already said I'm hesitant on Truex, so I'm probably going to have more Elliott and Byron than probably the field today. When we look at place differential plays and values and stuff like that, this is a situation where I start looking at people like Chris Buescher at 75. I think he's mispriced. I start looking at Eric Jones. I start looking at Austin Dillon. I start looking at Kaz Gralla. I mean, Kaz starting 33rd at $5,100. We're going to need every penny in this race. We already know values are more viable at short tracks, but this is a place where I'm probably going to just bet the farm on Kaz Gralla. Like, I think I'm just going to have Kaz Gralla in every single lineup today and try it and have a majority of my lineups leave like 100, 200, or 0 on the table. Because I think you're going to need to pay up for as many people as you can in this race. I mean, if you go Kaz Gralla for the most part, again, I'll look at chat shortly here. But like how like truly piss poor is the lineup if you go Kaz Gralla, Hamlin, Reddick, Elliott. Now typically I don't like chasing place differential at short tracks. I really don't. Compared to 500 laps and stuff, it's quite stupid. But in this Martinsville race, we've seen so much. I mean, already this weekend, but in this race here, like we are bound to see people get spun out. We are bound to see people get destroyed and just stupid stuff happen. Plus, I haven't even talked about the rubber. Who gives a shit about the throttle pedal? Okay, whatever, fine. Have you guys not seen the videos of this rubber? This shit is gonna be a fucking mess. Okay, they are running way softer than they haven't than they, here. I'll show you. I'll show you these little videos that I think you should just see in general. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me here? What about this one? Now, granted, I mean this is rubber's warm right off the track. Are you blowing my nuts off? What the hell is this, dude? This is the most gummy shit I've seen NASCAR run ever. Due to that, like I think we're gonna see like most people have already stated that, hey, the tire life is like anything after 20, you're like 20, 25, 30, you're expected to like want new tires. We might see tire failures. If anybody gets out of their groove, I mean their car is absolutely destroyed for the entire run because they're going to pick up so much of the marbles in the outside lane, like they are absolutely SOL. So like somebody's in third, fourth place moves them out of the groove. They get in the rubber. They're not just going from like third to sixth; they're going from like third to 28th today. Um, so like that that's a big concern here. Uh and so like I think Hamlin and Reddick are honestly more viable than they should be, and I think they have a higher chance of working out than in most situations at short tracks. I'll see what you guys are saying really fast. Can we just fade Truex? I think we can. I think we can absolutely fade Truex. Thoughts on Priest? Don't even know where Priest is. Probably not going to play Priest because I just have PTSD from the last time I played him, starting like second here. And he's just not that good. Okay, if we're in that price range, we are looking at people like I think you should play Eric Jones. I think you play Noah Gragson. I think Hocevar would be better. I think Stenhouse. I think SVG. I think literally a lot of the 6K guys outside of Priest are more viable. Kyle Busch, Chastain, Eric Jones looks good. Look good. Michael McDowell looks good for a point per dollar play. And I don't know. Honestly, I think projected laps led up here is just kind of useless because I don't think it's going to go any way that anybody really thinks. I think Trix like runs into a catastrophic issue today. So that's me. Typically, I'd love to see him get his last win right, realistically. But Jesus Christ, this year typically, anytime somebody's been in like a storybook thing in the Cup Series, it's been a disaster. So like kind of weird juju vibes going on here. I'm probably not going to play Truex. Let's see. Any other last questions? Don't think so. I don't think we're at really anything else. It's Martinsville yet again. Like yesterday, was a shit show. Nothing like Sieg being taken out with like 6 laps to go after running top 12 all day. Also, love Chandler Smith like slaps Custer. He's like, I'm so mad I couldn't have done more. He just like slaps him and he like walks away. Like, what are you doing? Like, just throw him into the cars coming over. Be like, oh man, so and so just hit that guy. Oh man, Cole Custer's been run over. Like, throw him into the car or whatever, dude. I mean that's mainly it. I think I'm gonna go deal with this F1 stuff now and go from there. I think you just played this race so light. It's going to be so boring to watch. It's going to be so stupid at the end, especially when people get desperate. This is going to be a rough race. This is just going to be a rough race. I think I'm going to play Hamlin and Reddick and just embrace the variance. Just embrace the stupidity and I think that's what I'm going to do. Do you think Denny will drive through the field? I think Denny's gonna struggle like a motherfucker, man. I think it's so hard to pass in this car at this track. Like Denny will probably be a lap down in this race. I think at the end of stage 1, Denny's in like 26th, 27th. I'm still gonna play him because I think stuff gets so stupid late in the race that Denny Hamlin's gonna end up working out. When we look back at other, I mean, we'll do that kind of really fast here. And we'll what is that? What is that? I was gonna quote Rage Against the Machine, but I just went blank on the lyric. Here, let's look at the last couple races here. Not necessarily for anything about how these guys are doing here, but what PD is able to do. Good PD, right? Like not, and you got to remember, like in the next gen car, like Joe Gibbs did struggle here. All right, we're gonna look back at the last 4 races. Do we see any good cars starting in the back of the field get through? Actually, we go here. Outside of Busher, no. Last fall. Hello, racing reference. Hello. Oh, my stuff just crashed. Dude, my computer just fucking crashed, dude. Are you for real, dog? My shit just crashed. I have no. Oh, man. Actually, my web browser crashed. Let's see. Am I even still live right now? Oh, my lord. What a disaster. Nope. Jeez. Nice. Oh, did it? Am I back now? Am I back? No. All right, let's manually force. I'll try and join the stream back because I think you guys can still hear me. All right, let's go task manager. Let's Louise. Let's see if I save that. Do we save? Are we back? Those are way too much shit. Everything just crashed. All right, come on. I just need an update on YouTube if I'm still here. Maybe. Yes. Oh my God, we're live. Okay, so I just crashed Chrome because I had so much shit open. Sorry about that. Ay. Let's go back. I want to look at these last two races really fast. Then I got to make F1 stuff. Sorry about that. Please stop asking me about Priest. I've already answered that. Like, why would you play Priest? The guy is absolute dog water. Like, please stop asking me about Priest. Good Lord. See, now I'm getting all cranky because I'm like, oh man, I had 20 minutes till F1 lock. Haven't made anything. Oh, I'm looking at. I think I was looking at the third one here. I'm getting all cranky. I'm being mean. This old Cruise coming out. Let's see. Any good guys in the back of the field here? No. What about this one? Hey, oh yeah, here's Priest. I mean, this is why I have fucking PTSD from this loser. Chastain 31st, 34th to 13th. 31st to 7th for Blaney. 24th to 10th. Yeah, we're on year 3 of the next gen car, right? Yeah. Right, last year. Right, okay, yeah. So this one is the first year. Byron 20. Wait a minute. No, this is 2022. When did the next gen car come out? Uh, let's see. It's been since 20. Okay, so this one is a viable thing. So that went from 21st to. I think even with the struggles that Joe Gibbs has had, I think Hamlin and Reddick are viable. Let's see. Do I like Tug Illiday? I have no clue where he's starting. All my shit crashed. Let's see. It's starting too high for me. I'm not gonna play him. Let's look at Bubbles. How's Bubbles doing? 78. I'd rather play Keselowski. I'd rather play Busher. I like all the Spire car. Yeah, I agree. I think Zane Smith is a great point per dollar play today. I think Hocevar makes a lot of sense. I think Haley makes a lot of sense as well. All the Spire cars are in play. I would prioritize them in the 6K ranges if you are looking for people there. And I do believe I'll call it there since Chrome is wanting to crash again. Best of luck at the race. Sorry that this one was kind of all over the place, but this slate sucks. F1 sucks. I just want to get to Phoenix and then be done with this stuff for a while. I can just focus on NBA. And lastly, like I said, I think this race is a shit show. I really do. I mean, yesterday's Xfinity race, same vibe. I can't believe we ended without a green white checkered after how disgusting that race was. I think it'll be drama filled in this one in some form or fashion. I think leaders are actually absolutely being taken out. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you for being here. See you guys next week. Bye bye. Thank you for